Hello, well it's mead making day today. I need a smaller chair. Half my head's been cut off. And basically what I'm going to be doing is making the spice mead that I talked about in a previous video from the Welcome Mead book, the 350-year-old recipe. Uh, but first I'm going to back sweeten this mead that's been in storage for God knows how long, 12, 18 months maybe. It's just a simple plain mead. I didn't need to leave it that long. I was just being lazy. And I'm going to back sweeten it with just a simple shop bought co-op supermarket branded honey. I've got it warming up in boiling water, or just water that's just off the boil. And I'm going to mix the honey with the water. I'm going to pour it into a new demijohn and uh, rack this mead on top so it gets nicely blended, and then I'll just leave it to cool down, and probably tomorrow I'll bottle. I should get about 5 or 6 bottles of mead, wine bottles, 75 centilitre bottles from this demijohn, and I can start drinking it straight away because that's been stood around for quite some time, so it should be ready. Right, let me just start. It was already runny, but just to give it a bit of a kickstart, I just thought I'd warm it up a little. And now I've got to try and get this top off. There we go. I'll just pour it in. Okay. Let me go and get a funnel, and I'll transfer it into the clean new demijohn. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the old mead on top of this 1.5 litres of, well, just honey. And this should back sweeten this. The reason I'm doing this is because, having sat there for so long, I took a little taste test and it was really dry. I mean, really puckering dry. So I'm going to just, this is how you actually alter the sweetness and make it a little bit more sweeter, a little bit more drinkable. So I'm going to transfer now. I've got just a basic siphon, which has been in Starsan, and it's just a simple case. Put that in the Starsan. It's the old-fashioned suck and pour method. Just a waiting game. And there it is. You know what? I think this deserves a taste test. So there's the mead. Let me just put this stopper on. Don't want anything nasty to get inside it, especially with the honey that I've just put in. And we'll have a taste and see how that back sweetening has worked. It's worked a treat. That's a much better mead. Now, there is still a little bit of that dryness right at the back, but you don't notice it half as much, and it's not that puckering dryness. It's like, oh, because of the extra honey I've put in. It was how much? 340 grams, in 1.5 litres, and that's just really brought that sweetness level up, and that's a really nice drink now. Because it's been left so long as well, all that shrub at the bottom, I did rack into that demijohn, so there was only a lack of dusting on the bottom of the demijohn, but it's pretty much compact and solid now, so none of it's gone into here, which means when I bottle, I'm just going to get pure mead, no sediment in the bottle. Great, right, well, I will bottle that tomorrow. I'm just going to leave it a day, well, one just to cool down, not that it matters in bottles, glass bottles, but I just want to make sure that the fermentation has actually stopped. After 18 months, I'm pretty sure it has. I don't think I stabilised it, you see, but I'm pretty sure after 18 months, 12 months, 18 months, there's no more fermentation going to take place. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to leave it till tomorrow, and I'll just see if anything happens. But like I say, very doubtful. But there you go. That's how I back sweeten a mead. Next job is to make the spiced mead. So let's get started. Okay, I'm back. I'm set up. I've got a sanitised fermenter here. As I mentioned in that video, I think it was where I was tasting the raw saison, and I mentioned this book and the recipe and how I didn't really understand it. Or was it the one before that? I think it was the update video. I'm not going to boil this. I've put boiled water from a kettle, 2 litres, into here, and I'm just going to basically add the honey straight to it. I can't see the reason for actually boiling the honey. So as it's shop bought honey, it'll be pasteurised. The honey I'm using, this is from a health food shop. It's I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it acacia honey? And I've got, that's 340. That's 340, so that's 680. I've probably got, and I've got another one here. So I've probably got about 950 grams of honey. And I'm going to add that to this 2 litres of boiling water, mix it all in, and then I'm going to top up with another 2.5 litres of spring water, still spring water, and then I'll add the spices. So this is 5 slices of ginger. It doesn't say how thick, so mine's just a few mil thick like that. 5 of those. A teaspoon of whole allspice berries, dried of course, and just a couple of cloves. Well, a couple of cloves, and that's it. That's the spice mix. Okay, let's get started. Making mead is so easy. In fact, the hardest part is actually getting these plastic things off the lids. And there it is. That's as easy as that. Just dissolve runny honey in hot boiling water, top it up with cold water. It can be out of the tap, but I'm just using this spring water as it's only 2.5 litres. And that's it. Now, you saw me take a temperature test. It was about 36, 37 degrees, so it's too warm to pitch the yeast. I'm going to let this cool down, probably tonight or early tomorrow morning. It'll be at room temperature. And I'm going to pitch Nottingham ale yeast, the old 300 odd recipe, 300 odd year old recipe suggests ale yeast. That's probably what they used back in the day. Baker's yeast, ale yeast, before they had the specialist yeast that we have today. And so I'm going to pitch the Nottingham. That does have an alcohol tolerance of about 14%, so that's good. I'll take a gravity reading, of course, as well. And that's it. I'll leave it for however long it takes. Hopefully, though, in a couple of weeks, it will be finished fermenting, because the recipe does say on day 12, you then rack into a demijohn or some other suitable storage container, and then I'm just going to leave it basically. Well, I'm going to try and leave it. I may have a little taste, but then, yeah, I'll leave it hopefully until autumn and Christmas, and then spice mead for Christmas. If it tastes really nice when I do have a little sneak taste test, I'll probably be making another batch for Christmas, to be honest. Okay, well, that's my mead day, or mead morning, because it is still morning, finished. So give mead a go. Try making some mead. It's really easy, and it tastes really nice. So thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again in the next video.